Fear of the Dark.
Okay then, Jason. Do you know why you're here in this conference room today? You what, don't know? Look, Jason, I want to be clear. If you confess to the mutilation of your mother or father, the punishment will be lessened. The officer said, that damn ticking noise is deafening. Well, look, Jason, if you don't confess, your minimum sentence is going to be 25 years for 3 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count of first-degree murder. So it's either you tell me now or face dire consequences. Do you really want to know why I did what I did? Yes. Now talk. Well, where do I start? I guess I'll start from the beginning. I'm a 17-year-old male living a happy life, and I'm on my way to visit my father, just driving along a dirt road on the route to his house. I pulled up next to his garage and parked and continued inside his house. We would visit each other often, and we always had the best visits. For Father's Day, I got him a gift, and it was meaningful too. I got him a really nice fishing rod since me and him always went fishing often. My mom was always at work because my dad was the greatest detective and still to this day. Now he's retired, and my mom just wants extra pocket money for emergencies. It was around 5 p.m. when my mom came home from work. She came in, greeted us, and started making herself dinner because her and my dad didn't really have much of a similar taste. I could say that they were well off considering the lifestyle that they lived. We talked and we ate for a little bit, and they asked me if I wanted to stay the night tonight and I could sleep in the guest room. I agreed without a care in the world, and as it became darker, my parents went to bed, and I stayed up to watch a little bit more TV. While watching TV, I get a weird message on my phone saying, "Hello, Jason. We would really appreciate if you would give us a loan of $35,000. If the price is not met later tonight, the consequences will be dire." Yeah, right, like they'll find me. After some time, I fell asleep around midnight because I wanted to spend more time here watching MTV or Adult Swim. The night is calm, rain pattering on the window gently. Man, seems nothing could ever go wrong. Man, this is a peace that I've never felt ever in my life. I wake up around 4:30 in the morning. I turn to my left and get up for a drink of water. I walk out into the kitchen and I see my dad sitting in the chair. It was dark, so I assumed it was my dad and just whispered, "Good morning, Dad." I get my water and walk to the doorway. I bumped into what I assumed to be a person. I got hit on my head hard and everything went black. I woke up tied to a chair, and in front of me I saw my mom and dad in the same position as me. "Dad, what is happening?" "Oh my God, Tom, I'm so scared," she said without trying to cry. Then a voice came from the darkness. "Oh, Jason, I told you the consequences would be dire, didn't I?" "Who the hell are you? And what do you want?" I think you should already know the answer to that question, Jason. Well, the first rule that you always should remember is to follow instructions to the T. Might help you out in the long run, kiddo. Well, I don't understand why I'm giving you that information anyway. Because this information that I'm giving you only pertains to the living. He grabs my phone and then shows me the text that I was sent. I want you to look hard at this. I truly believe that this was actually vital information. But you didn't listen now, did you, Jason? You were given a choice, Jason. And now, I'm gonna up the ante and give you another one. He then picks up a lead pipe and started swinging it around, imitating the master of Kung Fu. Now, Jason, you must choose your mother or your father. I start tearing up and I glanced at both of my parents. Some time passed and it looks like the time is up. Too bad I'm gonna have to make the choice for you instead. No, wait, please, anything but... I couldn't even finish my sentence in time before he started doing something that I couldn't even comprehend at the time. He started hitting my mother on the head with the pipe, and it didn't take many hits to kill her. I already tried giving you a choice between $35K or one of your parents. He lifts my hand and smears some of my mother's blood on my face. During all of this, my dad is staring down towards the floor with a blank expression, like he doesn't even care. All you pretty much can hear now is the blood dripping from the pipe, and the silence becoming louder. Eventually, I get struck in the head again, and I'm out cold. The only thing that I can think about is how much my dad didn't really seem to care about my mom's death. It's like he wanted it to happen. All I can await is my fate. I eventually woke up from my not-so-nice slumber. I was in a dark room, only illuminated by a yellow glare by a single ceiling light. Ah, good morning, beautiful. You're awake now. The same voice that killed my mother came from the darkness. When I get my hands on you, you're dead, you piece of shit. I yell in the darkness. Yeah, just take it easy there, buddy. This is not how you talk to your endeavors, now is it, Jason? I get a violent punch to the face and start bleeding from my face. I mean, Jason, what do you expect? I gave you a choice, but you didn't follow through. So in return, we killed your mother. I felt another violent blow to the stomach this time. The only thing that was holding me back were these very rusty chains and handcuffs. My dad actually taught me some tricks for situations like this. I take a couple of more hits to my body and my face. Now I'm weak. The man walks by my side and whispers in my ear. You know, we paid off your father not to call the police and to stop looking for you. A chuckle can be heard under his breath. The man walked behind me so he can exit the room. I had a plan ready in motion once he walked behind me. I tensed the chains and making the man trip and hit his face on the ground. Next, I grabbed the chains and I wrap it around his neck, stringing him slowly and painfully. Oh, I got you now, you mother... You can actually hear him gasping for air and trying to get out, but I was stronger than him. Hearing that man gurgle brought a sick pleasure to me, making me want to make the other members suffer a worse fate. His breath stopped, and his face now turned purple, indicated that he was dead for good. Oh shit, what do I do now? I freaked out so bad that I almost had a panic attack. I eventually got a hold of myself and realized what I had done. It felt good. It gave me a rush like no other. I wanted more of it. So I grabbed my mom's killer keys, let myself loose, and grabbed his biggest knife. I ended up walking down this long corridor of what I assumed to be an abandoned warehouse. There was this large clearing in the center of the building without a roof. It seemed like it was a courtyard. I walked for some time before taking cover behind a concrete pillar because I heard talking. It sounded like they were making plans for their next victims. After a while, they walked different paths from each other. They were patrolling the area on guard from any potential intruders. I ended up following one of them. I eventually lost him, so it was time for me to search for a way to get the hell out of there. I kept on with my search, but I found another one of their victims battered and beaten. Dear God, these people are monsters, I said under my breath. Hello? Is anyone here? The poor victim was so badly beaten that he had gone blind, so he couldn't even tell if someone was here or not. My God, what happened to you? I asked. They asked me for $50K, and I didn't believe them. In return, they took both of my eyes, and now I'm here, where I am now. I stepped back in absolute horror at how similar our stories are. I ran out as fast as I could and shut the door behind me. I continued on with my search to find a way out, and I ended up coming across the man that I saw earlier. I ended up seeing him going into a room, so I followed behind. He was in a room standing behind a glass door. Not wanting to be detected, I didn't break the glass. As I was in stealth mode, I ended up remembering the pain of my father not trying to find me, which felt worse than any pain that I've ever experienced. It fueled me with rage, and I wanted nothing to do with him anymore, even if it meant one of us to kill the other. I hate you with every fiber in my being, and I will no longer call you my father. Knowing how much of a piece of trash my father is, I continued forward, fueled with anger, knowing that I would eventually kill him. Once I get my hands on you, you're a dead man. I contemplate for a little bit before opening the door and sneaking inside the same room as the guy.
This is Rodriguez speaking. What do you want?
I snuck behind Rodriguez, covering his mouth and plunging my knife straight into his kitten. He jolted backwards and let out a muffled scream in pain. To stop the screaming, I slit his throat, and I gotta tell you, there was a lot of blood. I left the room a bloody mess. When I left the room, I thought about how life would be without my mother and father. I hated my father so much for not trying or giving a damn whatsoever to try to find me. It felt like a constant heavy weight on my shoulders because Dad seemed like the type of person that would help us in any time of need. But no, he doesn't even care because of his own damn greed. The thought of coming home and killing my father was overwhelming. It kind of made me sick because of what I wanted to do to him. I continued forward expecting something to happen to me, but nothing. I was starting to get really tired from all of the things that transpired. I just wanted to return to a normal life, but I knew there was no turning back. I planned and I'm going to execute it. I found a good hiding spot, so I hid in the hiding spot and slept until I woke up. I didn't know what time it was, but all that matters is that I'm alive and awake. It didn't take long for me to realize that one of the guys that I murdered could have a key to my escape. I retracked my steps from yesterday back to Ladrega, searching him, and found nothing but drugs, cigarettes, and a small pocket knife. Shit, damn it, nothing. I went back to my cell to the first guy, but his corpse is gone.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. We expected you to come back.
It seemed the talking came from a broken PA in the room.
Oh, Jason. Do you just think you could just kill us and get out of here alive?
I was trying to find a way out. The doors got covered by huge metal covers, and we were locked in here.
Oh, no, Jason. This is not how it's supposed to go. You are the one that's supposed to be dying, not us.
Where are you so I can kill you with my bare hands, you sick son of a bitch? I yelled out.
Oh, Jason, I thought we were buds. I thought we were friends. That's not how you speak to friends. But either way, I'm not telling you unless you find a way out. Oh, wait. That's right. You can't get out.
As I kept glancing around to find a way out, the light shut off. Then I felt a strong force strike to the back of my head. I'm out cold, and I don't know if I'm going to make it out of here alive. I woke up a little bit later, and I saw that I was strapped up again, but this time I was in a chair. I didn't know what I can do now considering the situation. A man walks in the room. I recognize him to be the leader of this organization. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You are a disappointment to society, Jason. You know that you would never avenge your mother, right?" In retaliation, I spat in his face. He didn't look surprised. He rolled his sleeve back and he wiped his face and then backhanded me. "You don't scare me." I might not, Jason, but this will." He wraps his hand around my neck with a really tight grip. I couldn't get out, and I feared this would be the last place that I would ever be in. They tied every part of me down except for my mouth. I struggled and eventually bit him on the hand so hard that it drew blood. The man staggered back in pain, and I took the best breath of my life. He went to a different room holding his hand, but before he did, he gave me a series of blows to the face. Once he left, I had to think quickly on my feet in an attempt to escape. I leaned back and forth in the chair until I fell to the floor, and amazingly, I was able to slide the ropes over the head of the chair. I next slide the rope under my legs so I can untie them with my mouth. I was able to get up from the floor before the leader walked in with bandages on his hand. "I'm not done with you, you little shit!" He made a dash up to me with a knife and tried to slash me. I dodged one, but he hit me with the other two. I started bleeding from the new gashes on my arm and my chest. You will rot in here forever. He punches me in the gut and makes me stagger to the ground. He proceeds to kick me in the face while I'm on the ground. While I'm on the ground, I grab his ankle with both hands and proceed to twist it violently. He shouts in response, "You little muff!" He then falls to the ground, dropping his knife. Instinctively, I grab it, and then I get on top of the leader. After some struggling, the knife inches down to the leader, eventually stabbing him in the neck. He gurgles and chokes for a moment before dying. I look over at his lifeless body, and then my gaze fixed on the shiny keys on his belt. I grabbed them, and I left the facility a bloody mess from all of the killing and pain that had happened there. I walked all the way back to my house and took a shower. Then I made my way to my father's house. I enter the house only to find that he's not there. So I resort to the only place that he could be. I ended up making my way to a place called the Skybox, where he just smokes and hangs out if he needs the time to himself. I walk in, and the clerk says, "Oh, hey, Jason, how are you? Hey, you coming up here to see your dad?" I reply sternly, "Send me to him." "All right, sir, you got it. Just go ahead and take those elevators. Here's the code, just punch in the numbers." I ended up getting in the elevator, punching in the code, and then it went up to the top floor in the building. I then get off of the elevator, and then I walk down a long corridor into the room where I see my father staring out the window. I'm about 10 feet away from him, and I say, "Father." He then quickly turns around and says, "Jason, you okay?" He tried giving me a hug, but I shoved him away. Tears welled up in my eyes. "Why didn't the hell you help me? You didn't even care, didn't you?" Okay, Jason. Before we do anything too drastic, I just want you to know that we have money now. We? Well, we apparently don't have a mom anymore. Jason, I'm sorry, but we needed the money. He raised his voice at me. It made me quite upset that he would choose money over family. I knew you was always a greedy piece of shit. Ah! I lunge at my father. He's obviously caught by surprise. I choked my father on the ledge of the building until he was blue. He broke free and gave me a couple of slugs. In response, I punched him straight in his gut. He fell to the floor. I got on his back and started bashing his head on the floor. It didn't take long for the floor to get a little bloody. He elbowed me right in the rear, forcing me to get off of him. We shared punches for a little while until I broke his arm. "I'll kill you!" I punched his face. "Why didn't you care?" I punched him again. I climbed on his stomach and started slugging his face until it was all bloody. I started to choke him until I could hear him mumble something. He said, I'm sorry." Before taking his last dying breath, someone saw the whole ordeal and they called the police while I sat there distraught of what I'd just done. I look at my bloody and bruised hands, questioning why I had done this. The police make it to where I am, and I comply with everything they told me. And that's why I'm here, I said sincerely. Well, Jason, I wish I could believe that story, but on the other hand, it's not the truth. I want the truth, Jason. But it actually is the truth. I'm not lying. Stop screwing with me. How can you forget something like that? Everything was caught on video and you expect me to believe this bullshit story? The freaking evidence is there, Jason. Just confess. It'll make everyone's life easier. But that's... What more do you want from me? There was never a freaking mafia that killed your parents. There wasn't even a Ladrega or anything even remotely related to it. But how? I was there. Those bastards killed my mom. You killed your mother, Jason. You did. No one else. You murdered your father and 3 other bystanders. Yes, you did. He ended up showing me footage and pictures of me walking around with a bloody knife and bloody clothes in a daze. I was in shock. I felt like I was hit with a bulldozer 10 times over. He then showed me the picture of Ladrega, the guy that was monitoring the cell. Then he showed me a picture of the leader, who were all just regular people. They weren't thugs or people tied to criminal organizations, but just everyday life people. How can any of this be real? What the hell is going on? What? I don't... What's happening? Look, Jason, we looked over your files and your medical records, and we come to the conclusion that you weren't taking any of your medications. We didn't realize how bad the situation really was. After what you've done to your mother, there was a manhunt for your whereabouts. You went on a rampage and slaughtered 5 people in a span of 36 hours. He then showed me coming up to the skybox where my father was, and he was surprised to see me. He even tried to call the police, and I tried to stop him. So I then proceeded to choke him with my bare hands on the footage. No, this can't be real. The footage shows me sitting on my father, and the most terrifying thing happens. I watch in horror as I look, or if it even was me, looks into the camera and smiles sadistically. I started hyperventilating, and then I just freak out trying to get myself free from my restraints, but to no avail. 4 officers burst through the door and tackled me to the floor, restraining me. This is a nightmare. I just want to go home. What a shitty way to an ending. Just to think that I could have gotten away with all of this. Oh well, it's no big deal. There's plenty of slim pickings in prison to help me reach my goal.
Good evening, everyone. This is Yuri K, and this is the end of the video. Please leave a comment and let us know your opinions on the matter. If you happen to like this content, please check out our other videos. Make sure you like and share amongst your friends and family to help our community grow. You happen to be new to this channel? Please make sure you subscribe. It's free, and you can always change it in the future. You have some terrifying story suggestions? If so, make sure that you send it to my email, fearofthedarkstories@gmail.com, and I'll feature it in a future segment. But you guys stay safe out there, and remember to always be afraid of the dark.